What's up, guys? Week 11, a perfect week for your boy. And Drake Maye just keeps on finding new ways to dominate. He's done it with his legs. He's done it with his excellent deep accuracy and arm talent. And in this game against the Rams, yes, he lost, but he played exceptional because of primarily his brain and his intermediate accuracy. And these are the two areas of his game that I think gets slept on the most. So while you didn't have the killer deep ball and you didn't have the 30-yard run and you didn't even have any of that like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow run around like a chicken with your head cut off, make a play after the play is supposed to be over kind of stuff, you had a lot of playing in rhythm, taking what the defense gave you, being extremely accurate on the game. And I think it's just yet another example of why Drake Maye is a budding superstar in this league. So that's enough talk. Right to the film. Back again because he just doesn't stop. First play, solid routine throw with a plus pocket movement because he's getting hit while he lets go. Drake Maye did a really good job in this game of taking what the defense gave him rather than making extraordinary throws, but really smart nonetheless. There's a solid throw, good accuracy, perfect timing. Routine throw, don't have to worry about heavily grading a flat. A lot of motion. I don't like the Patriots offense, but I do appreciate that they're constantly trying to use motion. And here, fairly simple. First read, should have been a gain of 10. Kayshon Boutte with yet another drop. It's really bad when your best wide receiver arguably can't catch the ball. The other argument would be Pop Douglas is a good receiver, but he's a slot and he's 5'8", and he struggles with catching the ball sometimes too. But yeah, no, there's 4 or 5 drops in this game. Really solid throw by Maye. He had 9 of those, which is excellent. If there was one thing I routine throw, here's Pop Douglas doing that thing he does. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's electric, and he's really good at getting open. It's just there are certain plays you can't run with him because he's 5'8", and he doesn't have the best contested catch ability because he's 5'8". But yeah, coming out of college, the one thing that I wasn't sure Drake Maye was elite at was his intermediate ball, and in this game he proved that, no, he is. Here, I wish Maye would have reset his feet, right? You can see he's kind of throwing from like midair, and he lets go of the ball at the 30. It lands at the opposite 25, 30 plus 25, 55, minus 100. It's a 45-yard throw. I think he's got more arm in him than that, and this ball was underthrown. If he makes this a 50-yard throw instead of a 45-yard throw, we're looking at a huge gain. As it stands, I grade it as a bad, inaccurate deep ball. It was close, but you shouldn't be throwing jump balls to 6-foot receivers anyway, especially because it's Kayshon Boutte. We just established that the dude doesn't really catch the ball too well. Right here is where I wish he would have just stepped into his throw and gotten his feet right, because it would have let him throw the ball further. I frequently say, I don't care about footwork, I don't care about mechanics. Those are pieces, right, that inform the whole. I don't care at all about footwork or mechanics. What I care about is accuracy and arm strength. And those, footwork and mechanics lead to accuracy and arm strength. You don't always need them. And here, Drake Maye throws with his body turned the wrong way from midair, jump ball. This is all arm talent, and it's almost enough to produce a ridiculous play. However, I believe that if he would have stayed, parallel to the sideline, if he would have stepped into his throw and driven it, he very easily could have thrown a better ball here. He also leaves it a little bit behind the receiver. Boutte is kind of bending towards the sideline, and this ball leads him back up towards the middle. Maye is probably right to lead him towards the middle. That's actually where Boutte had better leverage. But alas, it was close. We're already extremely high on Maye relative to consensus. I would rather be harsh than overly gracious. Besides, when Maye is making plays like this, plus pocket move, solid throw, all arm, 15 yards, I don't need to be gracious on the close plays. Here's a routine play, or a routine screen. Actually a very well-designed play. I will give AVP this. Going back to his days at Cleveland, he's excellent at getting tight ends open in the screen game, especially. Here, this ball is about 13, 14 yards past the line of scrimmage. It is perfectly placed. That is a great throw for a touchdown. Great job, Drake Maye. And you'll see, it's his second read. He gets to it extremely quickly, right? His first read is going to be this mesh over the center. You've got Pop Douglas running a drag. You've got Hunter Henry running an in-breaking route. And the idea is that the linebacker can only cover one, but Maye quickly sees that that's going to be convoluted, checks his outside post, and bang. Excellent processing, great arm strength, perfect accuracy. That is extremely high-level quarterback play. Right, you'll see his eyes. He starts in the center. He shifts his vision out towards his right, and he gets the ball out. It's technically his third read because he checked both parts of the mesh, but it's really only his second thought. He looked at the mesh over the middle and said, "Nah, mucky, don't like it." And the defense gave him a touchdown, so he threw it. Here, another solid throw, just perfectly timed on the curl. Good pre-snap to understand that the middle of the field's going to be vacant. Pre-snap processing, that is. Nice job to move up in the pocket, right? But I don't think he needed to. Like, it's nice that he can make this throw. It looks cool. It's encouraging that his instinct is to step up in the pocket rather than bail out and backwards like a Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. But he didn't need to. He could have stayed put. Still, solid throw. More motion, play action, tons of time. It's one of those things, man. What's he supposed to do? This is such a poorly designed play. It looks like you've got your receiver on a comeback at the 20-yard line. I know a lot of you are going to be saying that's where the ball should have gone. The ball can't teleport, right? It's got to go on a straight line, basically. And there's a linebacker directly on that line. That's how balls get picked off. Routine throw as it is. Like I said at the beginning of the video, what Maye really did best is avoid mistakes for most of this game, while taking what the defense gave him and making a couple of not high difficulty, but medium difficulty throws, those intermediate throws like this one, which is perfect, by the way. That's in the chest of his probably best possession receiver, or at least supposed to be. Let's check it again, because I'm too dumb to have gotten the tight copy. See that ball go right in his chest. That needs to be caught. I don't know who that receiver is. 88? Is that... Who the hell is 88? Is that Bourne? No, I thought Bourne was 84. Doesn't matter. None of his receivers are very good. That's yet another drop. This is a bad throw. He just tries to put it too fine on Pop Douglas. Yeah, here I got the tight copy. Oh no, this is not a bad throw. This is a perfectly placed ball. It's a bad decision. So, as you'll see, the ball hits Pop Douglas in the face. Pop Douglas just doesn't make the catch. That's a routine throw, and it needs to be caught. But Pop Douglas, like I mentioned earlier, is just too small. Like, when you're 5'8", it's going to be tough for you to do a lot of things, and that's why he can't be the focal point of a passing offense. He needs to be a gadget player, routine throw, who gets open in space and creates after the catch. He's not going to be a deep threat. He's too small. Look at Tutu Atwell with the Rams. 4.1 speed doesn't mean much if, people can catch up to you by extending their arm. And he's not going to be a possession receiver over the middle. Now here is a no-fault sack. As you can see, there's nowhere to go with the ball. Maye is anticipating extremely well as it is, right? Like, the curl is what he's throwing at the bottom of the screen, and the curl hasn't even reached its apex, and he's already throwing. This is perfectly timed, perfectly anticipated. The problem is the pressure gets there too quick. The interior offensive line is terrible, and whoever 71 is literally didn't move off the snap. Watch this. Right guard. Literally never moved. Never did a thing. Just completely befuddled. Maye has small hands, just over 9 inches. He's going to fumble sometimes. I bet you it's a problem continuing throughout his career. However, a lot of quarterbacks fumble a lot. Lamar Jackson leads the NFL in fumbles for like the last 3 years. So, we'll live. The key to not fumbling is getting the ball out quickly, and Maye has shown a propensity to do that already. This is just a really bad rep by the entire offensive line. It is a no-fault sack, although we do blame Maye for the fumble because no matter how hard you're getting hit, you can always hold on to the ball, theoretically. Maye does a nice job of extending a play here and just throwing it away. What's he looking at? Well, he's looking at a whole lot of covered receivers. See as Jalen Polk also runs directly away from the play and into coverage. Watch number 1 at the bottom of your screen, and he's running a post. But when you're running a post and you can see, or at least you're supposed to see, that the play is breaking down, or that there's a safety who's picking you up, you're supposed to sit down and kind of just hang out right where you are. He never turns to look at the quarterback. He never hangs out. If he does, Maye's looking at him. He's probably going to throw that ball to him. But he runs away from Maye. He never sits in the void. Awareness on 0. Jalen Polk stays an eternal terrible bust. Never even looked back until 40 yards downfield. Just ridiculous. Plus pocket move for Maye to extend the play. Throwaway. Neutral play. Great pickup block by Ramondre Stevenson, and Maye gets the ball out in the flat. Like right here, boom, stifling pickup by Stevenson. That's an excellent block. Nobody open downfield. Maye gets the ball out on his safety valve. It's a plus pocket move for throwing under pressure, and it is a very simple routine throw. But again, this is really intelligent play by Drake Maye. We already know he's got killer arm talent and killer leg talent. We're seeing in this game that he has killer brain talent, and I think a lot of people misconstrued his ability to process in the pre-draft period. Solid throw, perfect anticipation, excellent accuracy. Drake Maye would be a good quarterback if he had a weak arm, and he's got a fucking cannon. So this is why I love the kid so much. He's shown us in basically every game new ways for him to dominate a game. Here, I want to show you again. Watch how he gets hit as he throws, right? Hit as he throws, off his back foot. Mechanics are terrible because they had to be. Yet the ball is placed perfectly. He understands his hot route. Routine throw plus pocket movement. Just smart football. He's a really, really smart quarterback. And this isn't smart routine throw for like a rookie. This is smart like one of the smarter quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Top 10 in post-snap processing for my money. Yeah, he makes reckless mistakes sometimes. He's a rookie. He gets confused. He tries to do too much. You could say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. That's what good quarterbacks do. All right, top of his drop. Who's open? You tell me. I can't find him. He buys a little time before realizing it's not going to happen over there, right? The wheel route is well covered. The post is doubled, and the curl is doubled. So he bails out of the pocket. Great job extending the play. That's a plus pocket movement. There's nobody open downfield. He runs. He doesn't take a hit. That's nice. That's a neutral run with at least one plus pocket movement. Really good play. Just as good as if he would have thrown like a 5-yard curl, right? Here's a swarm pressure, and I don't love how he handled this one. I give this a throwaway without a plus pocket move. This is a bad throwaway because look across the middle of the field. Pop Douglas is wide open on the drag, and he might score a touchdown. And this was the primary read for the play, too. Maye just panicked, saw that they were going to send a blitz, an extra 3-man blitz, and he didn't trust his offensive line to hold up. I understand why he wouldn't, but you got to keep your eyes up because you could have Pop Douglas hitting his face on the goalpost. So that's a negative throwaway. Here, look at that. Look at the arm angle. See, the same... People love bitching about mechanics and footwork, but then they also adore these off-platform throws. You realize that that's terrible mechanics and footwork, and that like those things are related. Drake Maye's footwork and mechanics are perfectly fine. In fact, I think they're good. And his ability to change arm slots is excellent. So those are 2 routine throws with a plus pocket movement for, changing his arm slot, throwing on the run. Little mini rollout, turns it into a full rollout, finds his open man, good throw plus pocket movement. The reason this is a good throw, by the way, is because this wouldn't have been open if he didn't extend the play. And this is something that I learned from grading Lamar Jackson, because a lot of Lamar's throws look really, really easy. But the reason they're so easy is because his mobility has a gravity that pulls people away from the play, right? So Maye rolling out is why this linebacker steps up, and when the linebacker steps up, it becomes an easy high-low read. So I want to give credit to these mobile quarterbacks for, the impact that their legs have, and therefore I grade that a little higher than I would if he was standing still, because his legs are what made the opening and made the throw easy. That's just a really solid throw. Great velocity, perfect placement, perfect timing. That's what, like that, this throw is what Joe Burrow has made his career on, except better velocity on this ball. Bang. Perfect. Nice little flat. Nice little screen. It's all routine. Bad ball. You'll see the tight copy here. Maye reads this play perfectly, right? Like this is what's supposed to happen. Pop Douglas goes in motion on a wheel route. It's well covered, right? They've got dueling in-breaking routes at the top of the screen. Those are both very covered. The only option is the tight end, and he's got a little bit of outside leverage. It's got to be a perfect throw, and it's not. It's a little bit behind the spot it's supposed to be at. You'll see here, it's a bad ball. I saw some haters trying to say this is a pickable ball. No, the fuck it isn't. Plus pocket movement because he just didn't mind the defensive end screaming at his knees. And then you can see the ball is batted down. You know, defensive back has to dive and gets fingertips on it to bat it down. It's not pickable. He never would have caught that, but it was a bad ball. And you can also see how if the ball was perfectly placed, it would have been a touchdown. But oh no. Here, this one's tough to grade. I can't tell if it's a bad sack or a bad run or what. I graded it as a bad sack, and here's why. Play action, top of your drop, right here, 81 in the flat, Austin Hooper, hit him. I know, you want more. It's second down, dude. You're gonna get 3rd and 3, hit him. Instead, he tries to step up and run. That's a negative sack, in my opinion, not a negative run. It's not a negative run because the play he should have made, it's not that he messed up the run, it's that he should have made the throw. Here, this is what you should have done on second down, Drake. Plus movement, good job, get the ball out routine. I've also updated my algorithm. I've started weighting sacks that I blame on the quarterback heavier, just because the quarterbacks that I tend to be higher than most people on are quarterbacks that take sacks they shouldn't, and also because sacks just have such a detrimental effect on a team's ability to gain a first down and continue a drive. Shout out to Restore the Roar on Twitter. He's been doing a lot of good work kind of elucidating that for me. Routine throw on the screen, face mask to extend the drive. Great rollout and a positive run. Nothing to really say about it. Plus pocket movement, positive run. At this point, if you don't know, Drake Maye's got really great legs. I mean, you got to watch the other videos first. I don't know. That's old hat. There's a routine throw. And is this going to be the play action? No, it's not. This is a neutral run. It sucks that 74, Michael Jordan, is so dumb and unathletic because he turns up the field when he should have turned out the field. Right here, it would have been super cool if Drake Maye had the presence of mind to pull the ball down and throw a touchdown to Keyshawn Butte, but that's like impossible to ask of anybody. 74 is just so slow that he never actually gets out to be the lead blocker for Maye. If he had, it would have been an easy touchdown, but Maye also could have throttled down. It's a neutral run and a plus pocket movement, not a positive run. And then this is just couldn't be easier. Plus pocket movement, throwing while being pressured, and a very easy throw. Drake Maye had 20 plus pocket movements in this game. Positive manipulations of the pocket, extensions of the play. That's crazy. Per NGS, he was pressured on more than half of his dropbacks in this game. That was a routine throw on an RPO. So was this. Yak is not the quarterback's fault. Don't give him credit for it. There's another routine throw. Again, just taking what the defense gives him, being really smart pre and post snap. Once more, routine throw. Work your way down the field slowly. Take what they give you. More routine. That's all fine. Kick a field goal. Still, it's a one possession game. Here, bad ball. Not pickable. 3 couldn't have gotten a hand on it, but he could get just enough to bat it down. 3 Cameron Curl. Yikes. If Cameron Curl's breaking on you, you got some slow tight ends. I love Hunter Henry, or at least what he was, but it's over. Here, this is a really good ball. Uses leverage properly, understands the back shoulder. That's really good. Good stuff. Right, see it again from the tight copy. You can see maybe a little OPI by Kendrick Bourne, but the ball's on the proper shoulder so that even if the defensive back had DPI'd, there's no risk of a turnover. The worst that could have ever been was a ball that just flies out of bounds. It was really great use of leverage. This is a sack. I think it is on the offensive line. Let's watch. Top of the drop right here. There's nothing, right? I know that you think there's something, and I'll diagram why that's wrong. There's nothing. No time to get the ball out either. Nowhere to scramble to. That's a no-fault sack. All right, diagram time. All right, at the top of the screen, you're going to have Kendrick Bourne on a streak or a clear out. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to have a deep dig, and Pop Douglas is going to run an in underneath. Your tight end's going to run a curl right here. And I don't love the way this play is designed whatsoever, but I guess the idea is that you have a flood to the left, to the bottom of the screen, which means that basically you're hoping, assuming that this is cover 2 the way it looks pre-snap, right? You're hoping that you'll be able to pull one of these linebackers, right? So that, like, this linebacker here is going to be pulled deep to cover this dig, and then underneath you'll be able to hit Pop Douglas out of the slot. Either way, don't love the play design. It's long developing with minimal reward. What ends up happening is that the Rams actually rotate into a man-to-man robber coverage, which means you've got a one-on-one outside with a single high safety. Once Maye sees this rotation, he should immediately start looking at the streak on the outside. Now, this is a tough cover. It's called robber for a reason, right? It generates a lot of interceptions. It's easy to beat if you have the proper protection and you have deep enough routes, but the Patriots never have good enough protection. So I'm going to give you guys the spoiler. The top of the screen, the streak wins, and that needs to be where Maye goes. So here's the top of his drop. He's just now recognizing, oh, this is man coverage. My play is not going to work. I can't throw either of those in-breaking routes to the bottom of the screen. They're manned up. They will be batted away at the least. I probably can't throw the curl because it's going to take too long. Like, he has to get all the way over from the bottom of his bottom of the screen read, and then he has to throw the curl, and it's already into off coverage. You never want to throw a curl into off coverage. That's how you get picked off. What he should be doing is at the top of the screen, Kendrick Bourne is even, and therefore he is leaving, and it's one-on-one, and you've got a deep ball on second down. Let it go. But the problem is, by the time he recognizes that, right about here is where he recognizes it, he has no time. There's a guy on his back. So, I don't have the digs. I can't get to the curl. I need to throw the ball on the streak. I'm being tackled. If he would have started by knowing it was man coverage, it could have been a big play. But you can't expect him to know it was man coverage to begin with. And even then, it would have been really difficult. So that is a no-fault sack with an opportunity to go deep, but like a very iffy one. The interception, the last play of the game, there was a lot of talk online about this. This is clearly Drake Maye's fault. This is an interceptable deep pass that was inaccurate. I'll tell you exactly what happened, because a lot of people wanted to blame Pop Douglas. People basically just didn't want to blame Drake Maye. It's third down, so you know you got to go deep. Game's on the line. Here's what happened. The middle of the field safeties right here are open. What does that mean? It means there are two high safeties. That's all. In cover 2 and cover 4, when there are two safeties up top, that is middle of field open. That just means that there's a little void in pink that you can hit. When there is middle of field open, as there is here, Pop Douglas's job is to turn his streak into a post and kind of just run between those safeties. If this was cover 3 or cover 1 man, where there's one single high safety in the middle of the field playing center fielder, then Douglas's job would be to turn it into a streak and run away from him rather than running directly into him on the post. Unfortunately for Drake Maye, the Rams are playing a disguised version of cover 2, which means there is going to be a safety directly where that red line goes on the streak. That means that Pop Douglas, properly, should break this off into a post. And the post is going to be open. It's a perfect play call for this defense if Pop Douglas runs the post. And you're never going to believe what Pop Douglas does. He runs the post. He runs it perfectly. And Drake Maye doesn't see it that way. And he throws a streak. And not even a very well-thrown streak. And it's intercepted. This is a mental mistake by Maye. He just messed up. And there's nothing else to say about it. It's a mental mistake. It's not even a particularly well-thrown ball. It's an interception, and it ends the game. So the strength of Drake Maye's game is usually that killer deep ball, but today he went 0 for 2, and they were both pretty frustrating misses. The first one was that deep ball where he didn't get his feet set and really easily could have hit a big play if he had just settled down a little bit. The second one was the game-ending pick, where he just misread the option route. Those are both really easy to fix, but also mind-numbingly frustrating because you can't make the little mistakes, especially when you have a bad team. He did hit one great throw, the touchdown to Bourne, 9 solid throws, which means he was really peppering that area between 10 and 20 yards downfield, which is the most important area of the field to hit, in my opinion, because it's where you can most consistently get big chunk yardage and keep those chains moving. He was only inaccurate on 4 passes, so he was accurate on 90% of his aimed throws. Problem is that, of course, one of those was intercepted. Yikes. He had about 4 drops, maybe 5, depending on how you like to count. So his completion percentage is going to be a lot lower than his accuracy percentage. He also had 2 throwaways, which is going to bring that completion percentage down. He took 3 sacks, one of which I thought was his fault. The other 2, not so much. And he had 1 positive run, which I was impressed with. One of those sacks, it wasn't his fault he got sacked, but it was his fault he fumbled, and you got to clean that up too. That being said, he was under pressure on more than half of his dropbacks, and he extended plays 20 times. That's pretty impressive. So, I gave him a B. I think it would be really, really easy for him to clean this up and turn it into an A performance. Just don't fumble, right? On that last play, that option, hell, if he would have thrown it out of bounds, it's probably an A performance. But throwing an interception, especially one to end the game, is backbreaking. I think this is probably his 4th best game out of 6, right? Like the Houston game, his debut was clearly his worst, but he still showed a lot of promise. He was lights out against the Jets and the Jaguars. Those are definitely his 2 best games, and he was really good against Tennessee. Against Chicago, he was good, but wasn't asked to do too much just because they were dominating already. He also had the 2 interceptable throws. He's really got to clean that up. And in this game, pretty run-of-the-mill, above average, not incredible game. I think against the Jaguars, he showed off his incredible arm talent and deep accuracy. I thought against Tennessee, he showed off his incredible mobility and ability to extend plays with his legs. I thought in this game, he showed off a really, really high-level processing mind, both pre- and post-snap, avoiding pressure in the backfield, and genuinely making really good decisions all game, except for that one miscommunication on the final play that we showed in the video. On the season, Drake Maye is still crushing it with 6 elite throws. That's 3% of his dropbacks. It's twice the league average. Similarly, 3% of his throws have been great. He's hitting a 15% clip of solid throws, which is really good. He's one of the best intermediate level throwers in the league. And he's been accurate on 80.52% of aimed passage, which is 8% better than the league average. That's crazy. The one really big blemish in his game right now is the interceptions. He's got 8 interception-worthy throws on 200 dropbacks, which is 4% of his dropbacks. League average is 2.8, so he needs to clean that up. Granted, he's a rookie, and I think that will come with time. 3 interceptable balls against Tennessee, 2 against Chicago, and 1 in almost every game except for the Jets game. I expect it to iron itself out as he matures, as he gets some protection he can trust, as he gets some receivers that he feels he can rely on. But for now, that's where he needs to work on things. That being said, he produces a positive play on 28.6% of snaps. That is 8% above the league average. That is excellent. It is top 10%. He only has a negative play on 17% of his dropbacks. That is amongst the 10% best starting quarterbacks. His average grade is an A minus. That's killer. That is awesome. That is top five, maybe top three in the NFL right now. Not like I expect him to be there one day. I mean, like today, if you have the third overall pick in a fantasy draft and you have one game to win this weekend, he should be the third quarterback off the board. So I'm extremely high on Drake May. I'm extremely impressed. I saw Kurt Warner say that this is probably the third best game he's ever seen a rookie quarterback play. I think it's Drake May's fourth best game this year. But if you really value that mental aspect, yeah, this was definitely the best processing game I've seen any rookie quarterback have this year and any in recent memory, going back to probably Justin Herbert. So, what do you guys think? You as stoked about Drake May as I am. When are we going to start chanting Fire Mayo in the streets? Because Gerard Mayo is clearly the reason this team's not winning games. I don't know. Hit me with a like, a comment, a subscribe, whatever. Give me some positive feedback so I have a reason to keep making these things and waking up at the crack of dawn. Until next time, I'm just going to keep grinding film. Hasta.